All right, welcome back into Market Day Report. This is it, right? This is the last time we're going to get together here before the end of the day. The markets are closing in about a half an hour. But after that, at the top of this hour, 1 Central, 2 Eastern, it's the Cow Guy Close. I want to see you there. Again, as I'm sure you well know, we maybe overdid it a little bit, but it was our 2-year anniversary last week. We're having a good time, and we love what we bring to you, and we absolutely enjoy the viewers as well. So it's another great show lined up today. 3 great guests. It's like an all-star lineup, I guess. It's 1 Central, 2 Eastern. Want to see you there. That's going to be in about 15 minutes and 20 seconds from right now. So we want to see you there. All right, tune us in. Let's tune in these markets. Let's see what we've got going on in corn. Let's bring that corn board up. And what does that look like? Well, that looks like we're a little easier. And this is about where we were, maybe a little worse than the last time. Just trading heavy, folks. I mean, 4 1/4 lower in the March, so 442 3/4, 3 ticks off the low of the day there. We've had about just over 9-cent range. Maize down 4 3/4 cents to 454 1/4, and that's a half cent off the lows. So corn just trading heavy. We're as much as 5.5 cents lower in the SEP. So let's say 4 1/4 to 5.5 cents lower across the board. Corn. Let's move along and see what we've got going on. Beans were higher, but now they've turned lower. March down 1.5 cents to 12.22 3/4, 2 cents off the low of the day. Well off the highs by 15 cents. We got May down 1 3/4 to 1.234, 12.34, right? And that, too, is about, what, 1 3/4 off the lows of the day? So decent ranges again over there, too, 17 cents. But just trading towards the low end of at the low end of the ranges. That's soybeans. That's weak. But this is a little weaker. This is going to be wheat in Chicago. 14 3/4 cents lower there. March stands at 5.81 1/4. We've had about a 16 cent range. Again, and we're about, 5 cents off the low, 4.5 cents off the low of a 16 cent range. Maize down 15 cents to 5.95. Lost a 6 handle there, 4 cents off the low. And we've had, again, not a bad 24 cent range over there as well. So what am I talking about? Yeah, that was a 26 cent range in the March. So 26 cent range in the March, 24 cent range in the May. We're both down about 14.5 cents. That's what we've got going on in Chicago wheat. Hard red wheat in Kansas City, 13.5 cents lower there to 6.01 3/4, trying to hang on to that $6 line. We're about, I don't know, 1 1/4 off the low, and the low is $6.50. We've got a 22 cent range there. 14.5 cents lower in the May to 6.05 3/4, just a penny off the low there. Let's move on from Kansas City to Minneapolis, the spring wheat, 8 cents lower, 6.91.5. There's no 7 in front of that anymore. And we're only about 2.5 cents off the low there. Maize down 7.5 cents to 7.01 1/4, trying to hang on to that $7 line there as well. Let's go to the cotton, and we'll get to our guest analyst. All right, cotton, that's down 3 points, nothing going on. 81.28 in the March is last there. Let's bring in Ted Seifried from Zaner Ag Hedge in Chicago. Ted, just under 2 minutes left for you. What are your thoughts after that report we got on Friday and how things have traded so far today?
Yeah, I mean, the report on Friday. Look, markets have been telling you for a little while that the overall picture was getting a little bit more negative, and that was the confirmation. We saw it on Friday. Man, it's going to be tough to really get excited about anything. I mean, we're trying to get excited about South American weather. You had one of the Brazilian farm agencies calling out a 135 million metric ton Brazilian soybean production number this morning compared to the USDA to 157. I think that helped the trade there just for a little bit, as well as we kind of rallied into that NOPA crush number, which was a record for all months. But we're not able to hold on to strength, and that's a problem. Part of that soybean oil, we saw soybean oil yield decline pretty significantly, yet stocks were up quite a bit. So that's a demand problem there, Scott. And so we're seeing demand problems kind of pop up in a lot of places. That's starting to take a little bit more center stage. And as frustrated as a lot of the trade is about, the USDA being reluctant to lower Brazil and, raising last year's our domestic production and our carryover numbers getting bigger rather than smaller, it just kind of it is what it is, at least for now, Scott. And that's going to be a problem for these markets going forward.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think the two biggest takeaways. Number one is we can argue the toss about how bearish it was, but it definitely wasn't bullish. So that's the first thing I would say. And the second thing is then on top of that, then what's going to scare the funds out? I mean, they feel in charge and they feel stronger and ever more emboldened. What do you think? But 10 seconds.
Yeah, no, they're actually in charge. The Bears in general are in charge. And
Right.
There's nothing that's carrying them. If China started to buy aggressively, that means there's a big problem in Brazil. They've got people on the ground there. Until that happens, I don't think we can get too excited about it.
All right, stay right there. That's well, we'll try to put a smile on our face. And we're going to go away. We're going to pay some bills. We're going to come back and talk more with Ted Seifried, Zaner Ag Hedge in Chicago. We'll be right back after this. All right, welcome back. It's that time, right? We're the Cow Jacket. Got to talk about cattle. Let's bring up live cattle, and I have. And it's a little bit better today. Feb's up $1.50 to 172.87. We got April up 80 cents to 174.97. So we're in the middle to the upper end of those ranges. We've had about just a $2 range in April. So 80 cents higher there again, 174.97 April live cattle. Let's go to the feeders. They too are higher here, but not by much. We got March up 72 cents to 228.42. And again, that's a $3 range over there. We're just under. We got April up $1.02 right behind it to 234.02. Again, feeders and live cattle both higher in the day. Not doing anything crazy, but still higher. Here's where we see the losses, though. That's going to be the lean hogs. We've got Feb lean hogs off $1 to 70.90, and we've got April lean hogs up $1 off $1.05 lower to 77.52. That's $1.10 lower now. So that's lean hogs for you. So both cattle markets just a little bit better. Lean hogs off about $1 across the board. Let's bring in our guest analyst. That's going to be Ted Seifried from Zaner Ag Hedge, and he's so patiently waiting in the wings. All right, Ted, anything when those numbers jump out of the page at you?
Pretty good day for cattle, right? We were under a pretty significant amount of pressure early, but then we've been able to kind of claw our way back. We've been really wrestling on what this really cold week is going to do for the market, right? On one hand, we know we're going to put a lot of stress on animals. Hopefully, don't see a whole lot of, winter kill there. But at the very least, we're going to put a lot of stress on weights or pressure on weights. So from the production side of things, we know that that's going to cause some issues. But also, we know that packers tend to slow down or shut down in times like these as well. So you've got question marks on both sides. I think the real big question is what happens with the consumer. Did we go out and stock up our freezers in front of this big cold snap and multiple rounds of heavy snows and things like that? And we'll find that out, I think, over the course of the next few days. Either way, I think the charts look good. I think, after this longer period of consolidation, we have room to go higher yet. We've really kind of fixed the relative strength index, everything like that. So I still think higher. I think we overshot the mark to the downside. I still think the fundamentals are there to give us higher prices in cattle. And seasonally, that's what we would expect to see anyways. Hogs, very disappointing day, although I don't know what just happened in the last, 3 minutes or so, but really big spike there, almost $1 spike there in the hogs. Going to have to look into that a little bit further. I've been spending my...
do that for us. Yeah. But it's good to hear what you have to say about the cattle, that's for sure. Thank you very much for that great content. We got to jump here. That's Ted Seifried, Zaner Ag Hedge up in Chicago. Bring it back down here to Nashville and throw it back to Suzanne just one more time.